Well, good morning, everyone. Today is the 4th of July, 2020. I'm Roy Potter. Welcome as you come in. Uh, I have a huge family get together going on like I was telling you about, over the next 2 weeks or so. And so I don't know if I'll be able to do any formal ones, but every once in a while I have to come on and just, say something about what I'm watching. And so here we are. Again, hello as you come in. Thanks for being here. Uh, I got a notification this morning on Twitter, and I looked at it, and there was another uh, roadblock by Antifa and Black Lives Matter, the Maoist insurrectionists, not just protesters. Again, I understand protesting against, as I've said so many times, against what's happened with the police leaving the use of force continuum that I was taught back many decades ago, and going to this IDF and shoot first, ask questions later mentality, and continuing as revenue agents, etc. I have had a problem with the police on that, and I understand wanting to demonstrate against that. But when you do the types of things that Antifa and BLM are doing, when they are agitated by these Maoist insurrectionists that have infiltrated them and actually run their groups, uh, and you start doing not just criminal behavior but tactics of war, uh, the system has to be able to change on that. As I mentioned the other day, we have legal problems in our country where we don't know how to react when we're being attacked. We don't understand that this is a war. It's not just criminal activity. And so our justice system is set up not so much to go after the perpetrators, especially of these groups and these actions of war, which is what they are, uh, especially when the left is protecting them, as you see that's happening. But of course, they actually use those laws to come after those of us who are trying to protect our lives and property. And she's bringing me some coffee, so I'm going to take her up on it. Thank you so much. You want to be in the camera?
No.
Okay, so what happened on I 5 last night in California? You may have seen it already if you're on Twitter. There was a car coming down. This is on I 5, and they've blocked I 5 off, Antifa, BLM, and these Maoist insurrectionists. Not demonstrating about, in a proper place, okay? It's at nighttime. They're wearing black, you know. You can't see them, and they've got these cars stopped on the road already. I don't know if that was their cars or if cars had already been stopped in this roadblock. Well, a car's coming down, and it's dark. They can't quite tell what's going on, so they veer off the road to miss. Well, BLM and Antifa people are in the way, and they get taken out. Well, I'm just too bad. I hope that that driver doesn't get, well, they'll probably get sued because there'll be some attorney that'll do that. But the state of California and whatever jurisdiction that is in better not prosecute that driver for vehicle homicide or assault. Better not happen. But so Congress needs to do something because we are in a war. This is no longer a civil law situation, not by any means. As I explained the other day, these roadblocks, whether done by the cars that they have or other barriers, including their own bodies, this is to stop a car in a kill zone so that then they can either beat the person to death, take them out of their car, beat them to death, whatever, shoot them like we saw in Provo, and there have been some others like that. The only way to escape an ambush, I told you the other day, this is now turned into a military, opposing military operation. Okay, we've got the Maoist, leftist Marxists doing this, and the damn state and local governments, along with the feds, have to understand that this is no longer criminal behavior. This is war. This is war. And in war, when you go into an ambush area, guess how you get out if you're lucky? The only way to escape an ambush is to attack the ambush. So in reality, these drivers that have done that, both what we saw in Provo and what we saw in I 5 last night, Whether the civil authorities want to go with this or not, somebody needs to do something. We're in a war. That's the only way to get out of an ambush kill zone, is exactly what these people are doing. But they're going to come after you criminally and civilly, because it's a war on us, ladies and gentlemen. Like I've said, Trump's speech last night at the Mount Rushmore. Well, great, great. We've heard it all before. I see a lot of people, congratulating him and saying how great the speech is. Well, let's see what some actions are going to be. He won't be able to get Congress to go along with anything, and I know that. But I strongly suspect that this has been the plan all along, the real plan. As it sits right now in the United States, with this Maoist insurrection and unconventional, asymmetric warfare that is being waged against Americans, where are the police? Well, I don't blame them now, the way things are going, to get out of the way, because their governments aren't standing up for them either. But where are the police, and where is the military? Oh, Roy, well, they can't deploy the military without the governor's approval. Oh, I know that. Mark Fantano and I have talked about that in some detail. Then what else needs to happen? Well, the federal law enforcement agencies need to go after these governors and mayors, as I've talked about, who have aided and abetted, obstructed justice, and actually committed crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, we're in a war. The war has come home to our country. If we were getting invaded by the Russians or the Chinese, all right, and they were like Red Dawn, as I said before, parachuting into the United States, you know what? You better do something. Well, it's that critical. So they're using our system against us, as I've said. But these civil authorities, these governors, these mayors, these local law enforcement agencies are going to hold you responsible, by and large, for doing the only thing that you can do to protect yourself, which is, when you're ambushed, to attack the ambush. So I just want to let you know, this is getting serious. And then, of course, the mask situation is just getting totally out of control. Uh, there, as I put out last night, and I was sorry about the poor transmission. This is probably not the best place either. We're probably skipping around on the live transmission here. These Republican governors are abandoning ship, and it's going to get worse. Whether it's with Trump's approval on the masks, or like Mark Pantano said and I mentioned last night, or whether it's because they've been threatened, and realize that the coup is going down and they want to be on the right side. Damn Governor Abbott. Damn Governor Herbert of Utah. Governor Abbott of Texas, Governor Herbert of Utah. Damn Ducey of Arizona, Governor Ducey. And also, I understand the Tennessee governor is now going that way. You know, the science says otherwise. Common sense says otherwise. That's why I say we're getting pinched from the government above and from the criminals and the terrorists and the forward operating cells of the Chinese from below. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll leave it with that this morning. That's all I wanted to do. I was just let you know that these things are escalating. Today, the 4th, we saw the attacks last night. There at Mount Rushmore, they slashed tires to try to block the roads, right? What? What's this? G-Man Neo, is this not the prequel to a full invasion, if that is the pain? Yes, it could be. They could go that way, or they could just sit back, as I've explained a lot in the past. When you have a bar fight, you let them fight it out for a while before the cops go in, so they can just kind of clean up the mess without too much difficulty. They're having us fight against ourselves. They don't need to send in ground troops or anything like that. We're doing it to ourselves, and it's going to get worse. These groups are being run by Maoist insurrectionists who have been trained and maybe are Chinese or Chinese agents, are Islamic extremist agents, jihadists, are drug cartels, members, gang members, etc., etc. That's who they are. And our government is not doing us any favors. And people like Mark Pantano and Chris Ann Hall and these other attorneys that know the Constitution, Trump needs to get them into the White House and find out what the plan of action needs to be. It's really a military decision, but our military, as I put out this morning on Twitter and on Parler, Dave Hodges did a very good upload, I guess a day or two ago, about that the U.S. military is waging war against God, and that's a fact. And he mentions the purge by Obama that took out a lot of the command officers, the flag officers. What we've got in the DOD right now are traitors by and large and seditionists. Not just against Trump, okay? It's not just a thing against Trump. It's against the American people and against the Constitution. So we can't really expect any help from the DOD. They want to go and do empire building overseas. They have no concern about really protecting the United States or American citizens. None whatsoever. Not as an institution. Not a bit. And I've been warning about this for 20 years. So anyway, Dave Hodges did a great thing. Go look it up on his channel. He's the Common Sense Show, Dave Hodges. And I don't normally push Dave Hodges very much, but he's been doing some really good work lately that I'm aware of. And not that he hasn't all along, but the last few posts that I've seen of his have been very good. And this one is called, it's again, the Common Sense Show on YouTube, Dave Hodges. And the title is The U.S. Military is Waging War on God, and it's very true. We're a nation under judgment, just as he said. Alex Jones has said that. I've said that. Killing babies, pedophilia, stealing widows' homes, etc., etc. You know, we've been asking for it. Our leaders are evil, and as I've said, when the wicked rule, the people mourn. That's all I've got for you this morning, ladies and gentlemen. Do not go anywhere without being armed and ready. Keep your situational awareness on high. Today, as I mentioned last night at Mount Rushmore, the attacks that were done there, they're going to attack today, even in the rural areas, with fireworks to cause fires. That's their method of, which really brings up the California fires and some other fires from the last year or so, right? Well, regardless, they're going to be attacking in a lot of different modes today, it looks like. Just be ready. Situational awareness on high. Keep your eyes on the horizon, ears to the ground. Stay armed, even if you only have pepper spray and a club. Okay? If you can carry, do that. And certainly keep your homes ready with firearms, okay? All right. I got to go. I do have to get back to the family. Thanks for being here. Remember, these roadblocks, whether done with cars, barriers, or people, are military-style ambushes, and when they get you stopped, you are in a kill zone. That's what that is. And the only way to get out of a kill zone is to attack the ambush. End of story. Goddamn the cops and the district attorneys and AGs who don't understand this. And if they don't, they're the enemy as well, unfortunately. Out here for now.